Andrew, it's Dr. Scott. I have some feedback for you on your Essay 2 draft. There are four main criteria for the assignment: thesis statement, details that support that thesis statement, ability to integrate sources, and then organization, like how our ideas kind of arranged. I have to admit this assignment is what you wrote is pretty far off of what I've asked for in the assignment. I'm asking you to analyze two flood wall murals and kind of talk about what message those murals are trying to get across and how they're trying to get that message across. What you've given me is a lot of history and a lot of interesting history about the murals that I think is that I enjoyed reading and kind of learning about. But you're not actually doing the assignment just yet. So I'll kind of talk you through really quickly like what I'm seeing here, and hopefully this can help in your revision as you kind of like start over and kind of do the work of analyzing two murals. So again, one of the important objectives for the assignment is your ability to integrate sources, and there's a lot of information in your paper. I never learned where that information comes from, and not telling us where the information comes from can get you into a little bit of trouble later. Here that you're here to learn how to do this correctly, so it's not going to be that big a deal. But what kind of needs to happen is you need to say things like, according to this source, after the flood of 1937, the Army Corps of Engineers spent about 33 years building a series of flood walls. And in 1992, according to this other source, a nonprofit organization started to work on this. That's the kind of work that needs to happen when you're integrating sources. So it's easier to kind of tell like where your ideas are and where the ideas are the sources. If you're not able to do that, you could be fairly accused of plagiarizing, and I don't think that was your intent here. But it definitely could. This kind of writing could open you up to that. A thesis statement for this kind of an assignment needs to make a claim about the flood wall murals. And when I say claim, like, what is it they're trying to get across? Do you think they did a pretty good job of it? And then what are the methods that they did it? So was it like using colors, using the arrangement of images? Was it how they framed things, like how they did borders around some of the murals? Like, you have to think about some of the visual details that are going on there and how they helped get a message about the town across. And your essay doesn't do that just yet. And so I'll give you some feedback over here, and you'll be able to see it when you take a look at your feedback. But I have this over here. We need to know what you're analyzing, what claim you're making about the two murals, and the reasons that will support your claim. And I give you kind of an example here. The blank and blank murals did an effective or ineffective job of what? Like showing unity, showing that the town is resilient, that it bounces back from struggles, like whatever, through the use of this kind of visual thing and this other visual thing. So colors, shading, facial expressions, emotions, there's tons of stuff that you could write about there. There's a lot of history in your essay, and again, I thought it was kind of interesting, but it wasn't actually on the assignment. I also asked that images get integrated into your text, and I did not see that here. So a lot of this writing is going to kind of need to go. Some of it can be used for an introduction, but a lot of it is not actually working on the analysis, or actually not much of it at all is working on the analysis. I guess maybe I'll close with this. Like at the end, you kind of do this, you kind of make this point here that I think is something that you might be able to revise around. So these murals show a rich history that has created the city of Portsmouth. All right. What do they want us to know? What do they want us to think about the town, given the two murals that you're going to analyze? So think about two murals that you're going to analyze. What do you think that those murals are trying to tell us about Portsmouth? And then here's the really important thing that a lot of folks struggle with. How do they get that message across about the town? That's going to be huge kind of going forward. So I'm happy to help you out and help you figure out how to do some of that stuff. Think about the murals a bit. Choose two that you think are trying to get a message across about the town. And I'd be happy to sit down with you and kind of brainstorm that. I know the Writing Center could also help. It might also help you with your homework grade in the class, get a little extra credit. But talk to somebody about like what you think they're trying to get across and how they're trying to get it across. And that I think is going to get you a little bit more on the right track. track for this kind of assignment. All right, that's it for now. The grade's not going to look all that good, but I just want to let you know that I think that you can do this. I think you have this thing here that you can kind of start with and build around. But ask me questions.